This week on TGC News, new rifles, new handguns, and the Guncon announcement you've been waiting for. Welcome back to another episode of the Gun Collector News. I'm John Patton, and this new sighting system needs a name down in the comments. Let's kick this week off with something from CMMG. We haven't heard anything from them in a while, so what's up with them? Well, as it turns out, they've been cooking up a bunch of guns chambered in .22 ARC. For those that missed it, the .22 ARC came out somewhat recently, and it's essentially a necked-down version of the 6 ARC that got decent traction last year. It's based off the 6.5 Grendel parent case and is slinging a 62 grain bullet downrange at 3,300 feet per second, which is about 300 feet per second faster than the 5.56 carrying the 62 grain, like, objectively worse bullet. CMMG thought that was pretty cool and now offers that chambering in their Resolute with a 16-inch barrel, the Endeavor with a 20-inch, then the pistol and rifle version of the Descent, both weirdly with a 16-inch barrel. MSRPs range from $1,475 for the Endeavor up to $2,200 for the Descent. I'm torn on this. I love seeing guns chambered in new rounds. That means the round has a chance, but I feel like every year we're getting some new, like, whiz-bang thing shoved down our throats, and it's never, hey, look, we figured out how to make this cheaper. It's always, hey, look at this fancy thing. It's really cool and really expensive. I would love it if people released valuable products at a good price, like this week's sponsor, MGO. 20,000% of gun owners don't carry enough medical gear on them every day, and it's 4 billion% more likely for you to save someone's life than have to end it. These percentages have not been evaluated for accuracy. Medical Gear Outfitters has you covered. The Civilian Medical Trauma Kit has shears, a cat tourniquet, chest seals, and tons more. And if you're like me and go off the pavement, you need the Overlander Kit for your vehicle. You never know when you will become the first responder. Use code TGC10 at medicalgearoutfitters.com. How's about some more new stuff? This time it's from a company I had never heard of called ATL OP Shop, or ATL OP Shop. I'm dumb. They have a different take on bolt actions that might interest you guys. Essentially, what they've done is create a straight pull action hybrid AR thing. There are two versions currently, the CD5 and CD10. The 5 is a 10.5-inch 300 blackout upper that carries an MSRP of $1,300. The 10 can be had in 308 or 6.5 Creed with a 16-inch barrel for an MSRP of $1,600. It appears as though what they've done is cut off the back half of the BCG and sort of bolt on a bolt handle where the gas key would go. They also make uppers compatible by cutting a slot in the side for that bolt handle. They claim that this setup with, their upper provides great accuracy and blah, blah, blah. Of course they do. At the core, it's a manually operated AR platform, which I've tried before with the Cali key, and this is not super far off from how this thing is set up. The problem is that with the Cali key, you have to yank back really hard to manually cycle the action, because when the gun fires, you're like jamming the bolt rearward in there and making things a bit tight. So you have to work extra hard to unlock it. I think the only way to overcome that is to taper the rear of the bolt lugs, and it doesn't look like they've done that here. Time will tell if they're any good. I'm not saying they're bad. I'd love to hear your thoughts on manual ARs down in the comments. Next up this week is something from Springfield Armory. They just released a new all-black version of this gun, and I figured since I've never covered it, here we go. It's called the Emissary, and it's a 1911. There are several versions of it as well. You can have it with either a 4 1/4 or a 5-inch barrel, and it can be had in 9mm or 45 ACP. The keys here are the fancy slide cuts, flat-face trigger, grenade-style grip texture, and the bull barrel. MSRPs here are $1,380 across the board. I think the biggest problem I have here is that it's not cut for an optic, and in 2024, that's bullshit, especially with an MSRP closing in on $1,400. Just give us the option to mount an optic on everything. Just give us the option, right? The interesting thing is that the only 1911 that they sell that does have that is the Prodigy, and that's a double stack, and the MSRP on the Prodigy only increases by $120 over this thing. Why would you buy the Emissary over the Prodigy? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. Next up this week is a new handgun from a company you probably wouldn't expect, Delton. They are the OG makers of like entry-level ARs that end up sitting on gun store shelves, and they've entered the handgun market with the new DT20. It's a striker-fired 9 with a 3.3-inch barrel, a width of under an inch, and they are claiming it's the highest capacity in its class with 12 rounds in a flush-fit mag. They also give no context as to which guns they compared it to. A lot of the other guns in the market require an extended mag to get to that capacity, though, so that's worth considering. They may be right. I personally prefer the added grip length you get from extendos. Whatever, that doesn't matter. Good for Delton, right? They also say it's got a fancy trigger and some other stuff, blah, 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 blah. They brag about the same stuff that everyone brags about. MSRP is $500, which isn't horrendous, but I feel like if it were more affordable, they would have hit a home run here. I feel like $400, like $350, that would have been the number. Maybe I'm way off, and it's flat out excellent as a gun, but as per usual, time reveals all. There is no deal of the week because I have something else way better for you guys. Way better. Way better than a deal of the week. I'm tooting my own horn. Guncon tickets are on sale right now over at guncon.net. In case you missed it, this year is held on June 29th. It's later this year in Grinnell, Iowa at Brownells. We will have 40 to 50 brands on hand showing off their latest and greatest, including some new product launches. You guys will be some of the first to see it. I also make all the brands, everybody that gets involved, I make them give away something of good value. In years past, we've given away like 30 to 40 grand worth of stuff to the attendees. On top of that, there will be over 160 content creators on hand from channels of all types and sizes, big, small, you name it. On top of that, we will have educational seminars, and one of the biggest things is our interactive Q&A panels. Tickets for the event are $50 this year, and that includes your lunch, an exclusive Guncon t-shirt, a souvenir badge, and access to all those giveaways. It's going to be awesome. It's just flat out, it's going to be awesome. Tickets are on sale right now at guncon.net. And before I forget, last year the tickets sold out in like 3 days. We have increased the number of tickets that are for sale this year, but they will go fast. I promise you that. There is, of course, a link in the description to go right to the ticket sales page. Just go. Get on out of here. Get out of here. Go buy some tickets. See you at Guncon.